It's about what does it mean for a human being with obsessions, with rumination, with self-doubt, with emotional trauma, with relational trauma, to put themselves yet again voluntarily through moments of adversity and come out on the other side a better version of themselves.
My name is Robert Farruggio, and I'm running the New York City Marathon on November 2nd. If I had to describe myself in one line, I would say that I'm a work in progress. That would be my one line. Probably about a month ago, so early September. It was a Tuesday, and I was at work, and my buddy Jake was texting me about the New York City Marathon, and he asked me, like, you know, do you want to run it? And I was like, yeah, I do want to run it. And he's like, well, I sent out a bunch of emails to different fundraisers. He's like, I already got my entry because there was dropouts, but if there's another one that comes up, I can send it to you. 30 minutes later, St. Jude, emailed him back, he tied me in. I texted Justin and was like, should I do this? Because we had to raise $4,000. And if you don't raise the $4,000, you have to cover the difference. So I was like, dude, I don't know if I should do this. And Justin was like, you 100% have to do this. So I was like, okay. And I signed up for it, and I emailed them back, and I got in with the last minute fundraiser for St. Jude Children's Hospital in September.
I've never met a person like Rob. I think we met for either 2 hours or 2.5 hours. It was an extensive intake process. And I came away feeling like I've never had an experience like that, you know, because he was incredibly communicative, a really refreshing person to have met with. I see a lot of people, I've been doing this for over a decade. I see a lot of men, I see a lot of guys like Rob, but I think what Rob was able to display was a level of initial apprehension, like he was not wanting to come here, but then incredible buy-in. And a really, really authentic presentation of everything that was going on for him. So my first impression was that this is a guy who I think outwardly seems to I think present as though a lot of things are figured out, but inwardly has a story of resilience, a story of hardship, a story of a lot of tumultuousness. Things in his head were not always making sense. Sort of a storm of data and ups and downs and wins and losses, and man, it was like really incredible story. So it's one that I think really I think is the epitome of a lot of the work that we do here, which is even though you may be figuring a lot of stuff out in your personal life and you present incredibly well, there's way more beneath the surface, and sometimes you just need a venue in which you can kind of process that, and that's what really inspired this whole idea.
I've definitely always been active, whether it's because I was just anxious or a good athlete. I've always moved around. Never really was able to sit still in class. Was always bouncing off the walls. I was a recess MVP 4 years in a row. No, I've always played sports. Baseball was my first love. I mean, I played in college and, tried to go professional, and a lot of my buddies play pro. I played a little bit of basketball. I played football my senior year. I tried to play football at Sacred Heart, but it wasn't for me. But yeah, it was always baseball, and then other sports would just come in, like tennis, swimming. I did most of them, I mean, I was always competitive. I picked up baseball when I was four or five. So I'd compete with my dad, like in the backyard. My dad's like 6'5", 280, good athlete, and my mom was a runner and a equestrian, so it was a very athletic family. My sister was a really good swimmer, so there was always competition. We weren't like a crazy athlete household, but there was competition ever since I was young, and I got really good when I was young. We starting at 8-9 years old, we were competing and traveling all over the Northeast, and we went to Texas, when I was 11 years old in the winter for a baseball tournament. I mean, just traveling all over the place because I was excelling and I was getting really good. So yeah, competition's always been there, but it got really serious when I was 8. It's kind of crazy to hear out loud, but yeah, I was 8 when it got really serious, and then by the time I was 14, it was looking at college and looking at trying to play professional baseball. Mornings in my house, I guess it depended what house we were in, honestly. We moved a lot. By the time I was in high school, we'd probably move 6 or 7 times. When I was really young, they were great. When the family was still together and my parents were still together, it was big house, pancakes, that kind of a vibe. When things kind of went a little bit south and my parents split, it just depended. Like, a lot of mornings were quiet, getting up like for school on my own, especially when my sister went to college, and I was by myself, sort of. So yeah, I guess it just depended. A lot of times I felt pretty alone, but So I started to learn how to become very self-reliant, around like 10, 11, 12, that range. And yeah, I started relying on myself a lot more. It was baseball, for sure, because I was good at it, right? Like, every time I stepped on the field, I kind of knew what was gonna happen. It was like, gave me a sense of control. I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna go 3 for 4 with a home run and a double. My boys are gonna be fired up. I'm gonna get some positive reinforcement, and I can hang out here and I can stay away, like, from whatever's going on at home. So baseball was my outlet for a long time. When baseball became inconsistent, I started having some big injuries and ankle surgery, and then I took a baseball off my face. This was all in one, like, 6-month span. my sophomore year, which was a really important year for scholarships at the time. I didn't have a ton of like backing when, shit hit the fan. So I was like, well, I'm not getting that validation on the field right now. Like, I'm not getting the praise. I'm not getting the, the pat on the back. So I just went elsewhere and tried to get it elsewhere.
And so what I wish more people could acknowledge is that there's more to what people present with than what they see. There's more to it. It's like an iceberg. Whatever they present that you see, there's a deeper story to it that I think deserves a lot of attention, respect, and just appreciation on like a human level.
I would like this season of my life to be the season where Rob turns the page on old habits and things that weren't serving him anymore. I'm becoming the best version of myself, the best version of Rob Farruggio that I've known so far. The perspective that I try to take that helps me stay grounded in what I'm doing is I think about what my other options would be, which would be to make my life smaller, right? Do less, take on less, commit to less things. And I don't really want to do that. So I just kind of take it with me, whatever is stressing me out. I try to just take it with me and not fuse with it as much. I'm not great at it. There's a few days that stand out to me. I think the days that I'm most proud of are the days where it was like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning and it was before work and I had a 5K or I had a 4 or 5 mile run, which, is shorter, but it's pitch black out. No one's with me. It's freezing. I've got a headlamp on. I'm running by the water. I feel like crap because I'm, 28 miles into the week of training and it's been like 5 days. Like those days were good where then I'd go to work and, then come home after and try to be a functioning member of society. A lot of stuff with Justin is values-based, like living my life through certain values because the values will supersede the task, like it doesn't matter the task, it's about the values and executing on the values. I think I've learned that I'm a lot more capable than I thought I was. I had a rough year in 2024 where like things kind of got out of hand for me in my life. I personally made my life very small when I started working with Justin in the fall and just slowly started making my life larger. And then this training has really kind of pushed me to my current limits. The hard part is not the training, it's like the life. Like there's things you have to do for your life and your responsibilities as a grown man, like you can't miss those things, but then you also have to run 30 miles.
Well, so part of discipline is not always doing more. It's doing less. And Rob is the kind of person who I think has become very accustomed to in his life doing more and getting results. So this is a guy who had to, go through some really deep challenges personally, but on the baseball field, the more he poured himself into the sport, the more he was rewarded. And so he was very accustomed to like more equals better. It's like this 200% in, he's like all in, but it's not sustainable energy, right? And so part of our work together has been, I love the fact that he can pull on that card anytime. Not many guys can say, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna go run the New York City Marathon with less training than most people have. That's awesome. That's like 0 to 100% mentality and a level of commitment that I think few have, but is definitely inspirational. However, part of the growth for him is like, can he do something consistently? And so running is that, right? And so you have to do something in a programmatic way that requires discipline and that you can't push beyond.
I really struggle with anxiety, predicting the worst. I'm kind of a chronic overthinker, but I really care about, living my life to the fullest. So I kind of do these things in spite of it. Kind of just take it with me, If there's one thing I'm nervous about and one thing I'm excited about, it's the New York City Marathon. It's the same. It's one and the same. I'm terrified. I'm terrified of the marathon, but I'm also so excited to experience it and run it with some friends and get across the finish line and get that medal. Oh, I want that medal. It's gorgeous. I really want to put the medal on. So, yeah, that's what scares me and excites me.
I mean, man, if that's not a story that we could all resonate with, I don't know what is. Come hell or high water, this dude's gonna finish. And when he finishes, I think he'll be proud of the effort that he puts into it. And yeah, if I have played a small role in that, it's a massive privilege. It's something I'm incredibly grateful for. But I am nobody compared to what it is that he's had to do on his own, the support system around him. I could play a fractional of a role, but to me, I think it's just an inspiration to watch him do it, because he's having to do that work on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute-to-minute basis, working through his mentality to do that kind of work.
My one phrase would be, give it everything you got. Everything you got. Leave nothing out there. That's my mindset. It's just everything I got. If I break my foot, I break my foot. I'm going to keep going. Everything I got. So I'll cross the finish line on my hands and knees. I don't care. That's what it is. Everything I got.
Are we documenting our day before?
Yeah.
I forgot. Was I in the frame?
Yeah.
The day before, when we were at the convention center, I was surprised that there wasn't that many people there. There was no line. I was expecting a really long line, and my buddy who went before said that it was going to be completely packed. And there was a good amount of people there, but it was pretty much empty. I walked right up and just got my bib.
Filming the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is he gonna win it?
He's gonna try his best.
Coming in first, man. He's not a good runner. Hey, you can do amazing stuff.
Show it. Show the camera.
But yeah, it was a huge venue. There was tons of sponsors, New Balance. There was like treadmills everywhere. My name was on the wall. This was a huge wall. It was like a, massive wall with, you have your little, it's like tiny little lettering. But yeah, that was really cool. I don't know. I was, like I said, I was trying not to focus on the race, so I was kind of just floating around doing my thing. But I saw it. I mean, it was cool. It was definitely very cool to have my name up there, because we had a whole day planned. We had to go to New Jersey after, because one of my friends was competing in his first pro bodybuilding show. So my mind was kind of on that too. Like I said, I set everything up so I wouldn't think about the marathon. Like, because I get way too anxious and I overthink way too much. So I was kind of trying to stay distance from everything that was going on, like all the bells and whistles and lights and everything. Like if I got too emotionally involved, I would have, whatever.
Did he tell you how the rest of it went?
Horrific. Absolutely horrific. We were on our feet all day. We got like 30,000 steps being in Manhattan and then being in Jersey and back and forth. And we were scrambling the last minute. We went to Trader Joe's, which was packed, to try to get like, honey and food for the morning and all this stuff. I left my bib at an apartment in Midtown, and I was in Tribeca at my sister's. Hey Meta, how do you run a marathon on a broken foot? So I went to sleep without my bib, without it laid out or anything. I was just trusting my buddy would show up at the buses with it. I was tired. I was full of like carbs and food, so like I felt disgusting. And just like heavy and just ugh. Didn't have my bib, which was unsettling, but it was just one part of it. I had the food ready, and we had a plan for like what was going to take place in the morning. And then when everything was done, I was just going to get into bed and just try to fall asleep. That didn't happen. I got in the bed at like 9, and I think I fell asleep at 2. From 9 p.m. to 3 a.m., I was just like up. I was so exhausted, but I could not like stop my brain. So I was just laying there and just like rolling and whatever. Couldn't ask for anything better. So let's have an anxiety attack on our way to sleep. I basically had anxiety and panic attacks until like 1:32 in the morning, and then woke up at 4 to get to the buses. So it was awful. When the alarm went off, I popped right up. I was like, shit, I feel great. Like, I was like, I feel amazing. So I just got up, boom, 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 not tired at all. Eyes open immediately. Like, no fatigue. Food, coffee, shower, everything, being like just moving quick, felt great, felt light on my feet, high energy, ready to go. And, quickly realized that was just probably cortisol. Showtime.
Good morning, New York. It's Sunday, November 2nd. Runners from around the world are gathering early this morning for the New York City Marathon. Streets will begin closing shortly as open
More than 50,000 runners are expected to take part today.
Start line, cannon goes off at 10:55. So whatever that is. Well, you hear it like in the village because people are going off at like 8 something. So like, it's there, but you don't realize how loud it is until they like kind of like herd you in, or like you're waiting, like you're next up. At 10:50, everyone, they sing the national anthem. So you take your hat off and there's a live singer. And then she goes right into like the on your marks. And I was expecting him to say get set, but it was just on your marks, and then boom, and the thing goes off like right in your ear, and it's like holy shit. And then the whole crowd starts moving, and my coworker was actually right next to me, and he's like, all right man, have a good race. He takes off, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I thought that I was gonna be good. I was pushing out half marathons like that. Like, I was doing half marathons weekly and at good paces, and my paces were getting better. So I thought, the first 13 miles were going to be a breeze. I was half a mile in and both my quads were twitching. I mean, the 30,000 steps a day before, that 1.5 hours of sleep, like all that stuff didn't help. And the anxiety, like that definitely did not go in my favor. But yeah, like I was like, my body was just like significantly damaged. I knew that things were not going to plan a half mile in on the bridge as I was going, like, because like I was heavy from all the food. My legs felt weak. My quads were twitching. My foot was hurting already right off the bat. And it was hot. Like, it was way hotter than it was supposed to be. It was like 60 something. And I was wearing all black. And I was like, dude, and then I started having anxiety. I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so screwed. My time goal was sub 4. That was my goal in my head. Was it insane? Yes. Am I insane? Yes. Have I done insane things like that before and gotten it? Yes. So like, my goal was sub 4 and I knew what I needed to do to get it, but my body was not cooperating. Like, every facet of my body failed. In the moment, they were challenging. Like, they were definitely hard, but they were manageable for me. Like, I had done a lot of hill work and, you know, I like, my legs were strong in that sense of like, my legs are strong for climbing. So I was able to complete them, but I don't think I realized in that moment, like, the toll that it took on my my body and my nervous system as a whole, until I got to the 17th mile, which was First Ave in Manhattan.
Nobody's tougher than me, motherfucker. Fuck you. I broke my foot on mile 5, bitch. Come on.
So 15, 16, like, you know, you're climbing up Queensboro, it's dead silent. I remember I took my phone out and because my phone was blowing up from my friends, and I took a video of myself, like, cussing and screaming into my phone, like, I'm the toughest motherfucker, like, David Goggins, all this shit, like, and I sent it to them and they're all going nuts. And I finished the bridge, and you come down from the bridge and then it hooks left and then straight down and then hooks left again on the First Ave, and you're right on First Ave. And then it goes from like tunnel vision, quiet Queensboro Bridge, like you're in hell, to just like First Ave just opens up huge. You see all the high-rise buildings and there's like hundreds of thousands of people, like both sides lining it. But also it's like, I don't even know how many miles it was, but it looked like endless, just straight pavement. And I start running, dude, and both my legs start like seizing. Like, both my legs start cramping, my quad goes, I can feel my hamstrings every time I take a step. I can feel like they're starting to pull and pinch, like they're about to seize. But yeah, this is basically where my body completely shut down. I mean, both legs cramping, stomach cramp, lat cramps. I had no push. Every time I try to run, both my legs would seize up. I had to like walk, run on this segment. It's completely open, so the sun is coming down, and it's probably like around 12:30, 1 o'clock, so it's hot as shit. There's not a ton of aid stations in the beginning. Towards the end there is, but I knew that my sister and Sam and you guys were all on that at different points, and I had people along the way, so I was calling all of you guys. I needed like Tylenol, salt, Coca-Cola, Gatorade, and I just was like fully convinced that I was gonna like DNF on First Ave. Could barely take a jog. I could barely jog. I was just walking. And I didn't know how long I could walk for, right? Because you're on mile 17. I'm like, am I going to seriously walk 10 more miles? Like, I was like, I don't even know if I could do that.
Almost at mile 20. Legs gone. Foot gone. Right quad seized. Both hamstrings cramped. I'm doing the Shohei Ohtani shuffle. Hey, oh, what are you going to do? I think I'm hallucinating.
So I'm like getting emotional. I'm like kind of crying. I'm kind of like panicking. Cause like also you're on First Ave with hundreds of thousands of people screaming. So like at time, like if you're feeling good and your music's in and you're grooving and you're flying, like it's the best feeling in the world and it feels like they're pushing you. But when your body is completely failing and you're walking, it feels like the people, it feels like the walls are like caving in, because it's like, oh my God, they're everywhere. Like, it's so overwhelming when you're not going well.
Right now.
One of the things that I think plagues many men, and Rob's not too different there, is that for a really long time in his life, I think his thoughts have driven a lot of his actions and how he's felt. And when you're running, you have this level of clarity that's unlike a lot of different things in life, because you're in pain, but you're not going to stop.
It's like an internal voice that like never leaves me alone. And I knew that I would regret tapping out and like quitting. Like I just can't. There's too much. There's been too much put into this this race and this process for me to just quit right now. There's no way. So I just started walking, and I realized that the walking was actually helping me, that I was like recovering a little bit. And if I just kept like hammering salt and like sugar and water, and if I just kept doing that for a little while, if I just walked for the next couple miles, I'd be able to like finish somewhat strong. So yeah. And also Justin wrote me a letter and signed it #death before DNF. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to die out here. I just focused on acceptance, right? Like that's something me and Justin worked on a lot, and I still work on it.
Yo man, good morning. It's a nice crispy day today. Good day to run a marathon. Just wanted to wish you good luck. Thank you for representing, not only us, but doing this on behalf of a good cause. Just remember, when the going gets tough and it starts to get really painful, I would just say accept the pain. All right, man. Good luck. Send me your times.
And he sent me a message the morning of, and it was like, when the pain comes up, because it's gonna, just learn to accept it and keep moving. So from 10 to 17, 18 roughly, I was just trying to accept it, just like take it as it was. And I mean, it kept coming, like the foot, the other foot, the hamstrings, the quads, the ankles. I mean, you name it, like it was there. And I was trying to just kind of like breathe and just like let it be there and just keep my body moving forward. And then the last like 6 miles was just like gritting my teeth, putting my sunglasses on, and just like not letting anybody see me cry while I'm running, kind of thing. The first thing I remember crossing the finish line was a sense of instant relief that it was over. I like to pride myself on someone that's tough, but I'll admit, like, I was very happy that race was over. It was very, very challenging. So the New York City Marathon was the hardest and best day of my life so far. Finishing the New York City Marathon to me represents like the person I became in the process of being able to finish the New York City Marathon. So all the miles I put in, waking up at 4 or 5 a.m. before work to just do like a 5K or whatever my plan was, and getting the gear and working with people to help me get the gear, and spending weekends training and not drinking, and just like basically my whole life was dedicated to getting ready for this race for a good 2 months probably, and had been running like significantly before, not to that extent, but yeah, like the person I became in the process of getting ready for the New York City Marathon that's the reward. The outcome of the race and just completing it changed the way I think about myself, in the sense that I'm a lot tougher than I thought.
And when you realize that the pain that you're feeling is not going to control your behavior, it's therapeutic in and of itself, because you realize that who you are and what you think are two different things. And you can work through hardship even if it's hard. And you can get through to the finish line even if your brain tells you don't. And I think for him, he'll realize that this is a symbol for him that he can do that for the rest of his life.